Let's welcome in our next guest. Show favorite, I have to say. It's tan no matter what month of the year it is, which makes me think she's got some of our Paisan blood in her somewhere.
I think so too.
Casie Rogers-Adams. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to have you back. The leader of the band at Martinsburg High School, which now has 11,604 members since you took over.
Getting close.
They all want to play the same instrument. Yeah. So get the business part out of the way. You've got an event coming up. Go ahead right away and plug that.
On Saturday, this Saturday, September 27th, is the 46th Annual Martinsburg High School Band Spectacular at Coburn Field. The gates will open at 2. We will start at 4. We're going to start an hour earlier this year because we do have 18 bands in attendance, which I know last year I said we had 13 or 14. At the time, I said this is the largest band spectacular in the past 10 plus years, but this one is the largest band spectacular.
Until next year.
Yeah, so we're excited. 18 bands, 18 performances, all from the tri-state area. We'll have our 4 high schools from around here, as well as Penn Trafford High School, Stonewall Jackson.
Penn Trafford's from Pittsburgh.
Yep, and then we have another school from Pittsburgh, Stonewall Jackson High School down in Quicksburg, Virginia. Let's see, there's a bunch. There's a whole list of them. So a lot of different schools are attending this year just because we have a full judges panel, which means we will have a drumline and percussion judge as well as a color guard judge. And that's really what has drawn a lot of these outside schools that come from farther away to this competition specifically.
The first high school football games I ever worked on a commercial radio station were for Penn Trafford High School.
Very cool.
So I've got fond memories of Saturday afternoons spent in that press box. Yeah, that's pretty cool that you'll have them there.
There you go.
Most people probably have never heard of Penn Trafford High School.
Yep.
Yeah. With my friend Jimmy Mirabello, thereby fulfilling my requirement, Matt, that I work with at least one Italian everywhere that I go.
Yeah.
Started
then, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Casie, let's talk about this Martinsburg band. 161 members?
Yes.
Strong? Right. What's the biggest section of the band?
I would say our percussion section, drumline, we have 20, and then in our front ensemble is 15. But really, it's the color guard. There's 27. And we actually had 2 more students that came in at the beginning of the school year, and they wanted to be a part, but it was too late for auditions. So we're right around the 30 mark with them, but there's 27 performing members for them on the field.
So when you do halftime at the Martinsburg games, do you have 161 people all on the field?
Yep. We have 3 kids that play football, so they're with the football team at that time. But for competition on Saturday, all those students will be there.
What do they play?
We have one in the pit. He's actually a foreign exchange student from Germany, and he plays sousaphone. So Saturday will actually be his first sousaphone debut as he does the national anthem with us. And then he has joined the front ensemble, the pit, for football games and competitions. And then we have a baritone player, Donovan Wormsley, marching baritone, and then Ian McKenzie, who's a starter for the football team, plays trombone.
Trombone. No drummers out of that group.
Not this year, no.
So in layman's terms, the sousaphone's the big saxophone.
It's the big
right?
tuba. The big tuba that they wear, yes.
Oh.
What did one of those weigh?
I don't even know.
So it's like
maybe
a Dr.
20,
Seuss looking.
it's kind of like a
instrument.
drum, 20, 25, 30 pounds.
That's a lot.
Oh, man.
Carry that around?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'd have back problems with that.
So now I have to ask the difference. Is there one between an official sousaphone and a tuba? Are they different size? Or?
Yes. So the sousaphone, you would wear it. They wear it over top of them. And then the tuba, you have concert tubas, that sit upright, as well as like the contra tubas, which is the ones from marching band that they have on their shoulders.
So typically if you play one, do you play the other?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trombone, but I was tempted to quote Woody Allen from Take the Money and Run. I was the cello player in the marching band.
That's a great scene, by the way. That's one of the funniest movies ever made, right? Yeah, there's a great scene in that movie where they go to,
They're like walking down the street, and he's the cello player. He has to move his chair.
Keep picking up his chair. Yeah, I think that's the one where they go into the bank.
Yes,
and they rob the bank, and he's got have a gub.
The gub.
Yeah, and then another set of bank robbers comes in at the same time, and then they hold a vote to see who wants us to rob the bank versus them to rob the bank.
Yeah.
Classic movie. Sorry, Casie.
Let me pull this back to band. Rob mentioned earlier, everyone wants to play the same instrument. I think of like my time in middle school and being a part of the band in middle school. How many students kind of join the band in high school as opposed to those that maybe have played through middle school and then walk right into high school?
Honestly, I can say this is the 5th year, and in total, I've probably had about, right now in 5 years, 25 kids that have done that. I had a kid that came to me actually just Friday, and he said, hey, I want to join the band. And I take everybody, but I was finally like, this has to be the cutoff for the year. I said, do you play an instrument? Nope, but I want to learn. I was like, well, that's fantastic. But the guidance counselors aren't going to change your schedule, a month into school. So I told him, I said, start taking lessons, on what you want to do, and then come back in the summer or towards the end of school next year, and then we can get you hooked in.
What is the best age to learn an instrument?
I would say it really depends on the instrument. I didn't start trumpet until 6th grade. I know Jefferson County, they start them in 4th grade, which is extremely helpful. And I know for my daughter, she's 3, but when she hits 5, I want to put her in piano lessons. But I would say for stuff like that, you don't really want to have a lesson more than 30 minutes, because it's, information overload for that age. But I would say at any age that they can sit down and start to comprehend and, sit there and give their attention for that amount of time.
Not counting violin, but is the piano the most difficult thing to learn? And I ask that for this question. My wife knows how to play the piano. I do not. But your right hand's doing one thing, your left hand's doing another, and then you have to have your foot working the pedals to accentuate some of the notes that you're hitting on the piano. I
think it's difficult. I mean, on a good day, I can put the hands together, but I did it for college, enough to pass my piano proficiency exam. And I wish I had the time to sit down and, devote it and get all that back. But I think the hardest instrument is the flute.
The flute?
I can see that.
I don't know why.
I would think the violin, of the string instruments and stuff, I would think the violin. The wind instruments, I always thought the flute would be easier.
That's always one thing that the kids have always, harped on me for years past of playing. I say, can you play this? And I'll make up an excuse that my flute's in the shop. It's been in the shop for, going on 12 years now.
Very nice.
Is the hard part the way you blow into it?
I can handle that. I don't know, but it's just, playing a note, then you have to look, and then play and look again. I don't know. It's a brain thing, I guess.
Speaking of the notes, right? So how do musicians handle seamlessly the turning of the page to get to the next set of notes?
That was always what tripped me
You just
up.
do it.
I just couldn't.
I don't know how to explain it. Like you just get familiar and just do it.
Because you never hear like a breakup in the music.
No.
Like it should be like da da da.
Well, if you practice enough,
da 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 da.
you know what's coming.
Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Well, that's
yeah.
true.
I was a very
That's part of the thing.
bad student because if I couldn't turn the page and I was like, oh crap, like I would just go
Yeah.
and like blend in, but I wasn't playing.
Yeah.
So like
In your ears, you were blending in.
yeah, oh man.
Yeah.
But no, that was that and emptying your spit at the set.
Uh-huh.
That was, that was difficult.
Let's talk about that. Let's get that out in the open here, Casie. So what happens to the flooring around? Is there
Those
like a
poor
little
stages.
Well, I will say this. In the old band room, we had carpet. And there was this old, when I was a freshman, there was this old green carpet, which I don't know how long that had been down there. But you just think, like, every day, just people spit.
It probably wasn't green.
And
when you
then our
started.
director used to make us, well, it was actually green. It was like this, the green that they used to have in all the high schools. It was kind of like that. But our director used to make us sit there and watch, our performances from Friday night, like every Monday. Everybody just sits on the floor carelessly, but if you really think about it, you're like, oh, this is not good. So one thing in the new band room, I was like, we have to have a different kind of flooring. So it's not tile, but it looks like a hardwood, but it's kind of like a laminate. Which if you stand back and look, you can see the puddles of spit,
so gross.
after. But it's really not that bad. It's not as bad as the carpet.
Do the folks who don't play a wind instrument where there's going to be spit, do they ever lobby to be able to spit during practice as well, just because they're right? If everyone else can spit, why can't I?
No, they haven't. They haven't done that. But speaking of spit, I do tell my students for horn angles. If you're playing a brass instrument, your horn better be up high enough to where that spit can roll right back into your mouth, which is gross. But if you think about it, I mean,
it is yours.
Yeah.
But I remember
if
it
you're
tasted
hot and
like
sweaty,
the instrument.
it is what it is. It's good.
Get a little hydration in there.
Yeah.
But that's how I did, determine their horn angles for them. And of course, they're all like, "Ew, that's gross." But once they figure it out,
So judging by your band numbers, I assume it's still the same. I remember, so in elementary school, we had, like, you know, we were doing orchestra, but then when you got to middle school or junior high, band was the cool thing to do. So is that still like the cool kids like trajectory?
Yeah. I mean, I would say so. Especially at Martinsburg, we have so many athletes. I think a majority of the whole cross country team, like 95% of them, is in band.
Oh, no kidding. Well, they got good wind.
Yeah, that is true. I never thought of it that way, but we have kids that are on all the sports teams. So for me, I want them to be well-rounded and not just come and be a band kid. You know, I want them to do everything, which I think is part of the reason why we do have the high numbers, just so that they know that, you know, we're willing to work with them. All you have to do is communicate with me and your coaches, you know, split the time, you're good to go.
Casie Rogers-Adams, our guest here on the program. The Martinsburg Tournament of Bands Band Spectacular is coming up this Saturday. What time will you get started?
4 p.m., right with the national anthem, and then the first Hampshire High School will take the field at 4:15.
And any admission charge?
Yes, $10 for adults, $5 for 65 and older, and then free for 5 and younger.
All right. Do you have the concession stand open?
It's open and stocked.
Do the band parents work the concession stand during the Tournament of Bands as well?
Yes, they work the concession stand. They work tables, airgrams, candygrams, flowergrams, programs, parking, welcome area, everything.
Are there harder working parents at a high school than band parents?
No. And I would, you know, love it. You know, some people are like, we'll run the concession stand. And, you know, all the band parents just kind of shake their head and laugh because they have no idea.
So there's a competition.
The manpower behind it. No idea.
But that's a major fundraiser for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We should bring in, you know, with 18 bands and all the spectators and all the parents and stuff with that, we're hoping for like a 15 to 20 grand day.
Yeah. Wow. So in the playoffs, I know all the ticket revenue, most of it, majority of it goes to the state. Do you get to keep the concession revenue during a playoff game? You don't have to share any of that with the SSAC?
Nope.
All right, that's good. That's a win, Matt.
Yes.
And then there you go. Finally.
It's a big win.
Something that they don't get their hands on, right?
Yeah. Speaking of competitions, I believe you all were at a competition up at WVU just this past weekend, correct?
It was their 59th annual Morgantown High School Band Spectacular, so it was at Mountaineer Field, which was really cool. It wasn't a competition, it was just like a showcase. I think there were 14 other bands from around the state, and then we got to watch the Pride of West Virginia, which was really cool for the kids to see. But with that, I think the coolest thing was coming out of the tunnel. You know, starting the cadence in the tunnel, and it got super loud, and the kids they were balled in at that moment. And we're walking across the field, and we turn around, and look on their faces, and they're just smiling from ear to ear.
I love that.
But it was a huge fun trip, and lots of fun for them and the instructors as well, and a great performance by them.
Probably, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago, I emceed probably 3 or 4 straight years of Martinsburg Tournament of Bands. Hedgesville used to do one as well, and I was the public address announcer for those. And the Pride of West Virginia showed up at one of the Martinsburg ones. And I think they were headed somewhere else.
Yes.
West Virginia might have been playing at Maryland or something like that, and the band stopped at Martinsburg High School and did a show. Wow.
Yes.
That was impressive. I don't know, how many members do they typically have?
Over 300.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were, right on. It was just a really very impressive performance. They do represent the school and the state quite well.
Yes.
Yeah. You played in that, right?
No, I went to Shepherd.
You went to Shepherd, okay. There was somebody that I had in here not too long ago who was a member of the West Virginia band. I can't remember who it was now.
Of your band members, how many of them enjoy playing their instrument and just enjoy being a part of the band on the high school level, and how many are like athletes who say, I really want to be a part of the Pride of West Virginia, or I want to be a part of the band at Shepherd University or wherever they may continue their education?
Actually, it's funny you said that, because right now in Shepherd's Ram Band, there are 7 or 8 kids that were in the band with me. One, Malachi Williams, who he played football for Martinsburg, if you remember him, went to Virginia State University last year to join the Trojan Explosion. He came back to Shepherd this year to be in the Ram Band. R.J. Brown last year played football for Martinsburg, is in Virginia State's Trojan Explosion. So we have a bunch of kids at Shepherd, and then actually a kid that I taught in middle school also went to be in VSU's marching band. He had moved to Virginia, but he stayed on the drum line and played cymbals, and I think he's still there this year as well.
Great.
So we have lots of kids that want to pursue college band, which is very cool. Sean Wood, who was one of our drummers last year, is down at Howard University.
Wow.
So
Are there scholarship opportunities just like athletes and,
Yes.
and academics and others?
And
Yes.
actually, RJ and Malachi both got scholarships to be in the band at Virginia State University.
All right.
You have a trip coming up too.
Yes.
You're fundraising for that now.
Yes.
Yeah, talk about that.
National Memorial Day Parade on May 25th, I believe it is, on actual Memorial Day. So we're going to take the band down to Washington, D.C. along Constitution Avenue. So we're just trying to fundraise to get down there. It's $150 per kid to perform in this parade. You know, it's one of those things where you get it in the mail and you're like, this is cool, we got accepted. And you say, hey, we're in. And they're like, oh, by the way, you know, $150 per kid.
Who's
But
getting that money?
I think it's a production fee, I think,
Okay.
is what I've been told. So it's exciting, but, you know, with that comes a price. So, and in our area, too, we don't really want to, you know, we only have a $100 band fee, really, that the kids pay. So we don't want to say, hey, here's another $150 to get this opportunity. So we're trying to reach out to the community, get some support, see if we can get that trip paid down for the kids.
Will that be a one-day event?
Yes.
You'll go down, be a part of the parade, and then
Yep,
come
and then we're
back.
going to come right back.
You taking school buses or charter buses?
We'll take charter buses. The kids gave us a hard time, or gave me a hard time for taking school buses on Saturday to Morgantown.
That's
It's
a tough drive in a school bus.
yeah, I know. And they're like, seriously,
Yeah,
a
they're
school
not
bus?
comfortable.
You know, and then they asked, you know, are we taking a school bus to Hedgesville or are we taking charter buses? And we went Friday night. And I'm like, okay, we're not rich, but we're going to take school buses because you can handle a 10-minute drive across the county.
That seems reasonable.
Yes.
Yeah. What's a band uniform go for now?
Right now they are right at $1,000. Last year, I think last time
Per
I was in
band
here,
uniform?
yeah, we were at $800. And then we ordered a couple months ago. We ordered 25 hats and the plume, which is the feathers, and then the helmet itself. All that was around $4,000. So the jackets are going for about $500 a piece. The bibbers, which are the pants, are $300, and then the helmets are $200.
And they will last how long?
They should last anywhere from 10 to 12 years.
So you get some duration.
Yes.
Okay,
and
so it's
these-
recycled. It's not per year.
Yeah. And these I want to keep these because I had designed these as a replica based upon, you know, the uniforms from the Lynch era and the ones that I wore in high school. So my goal is to keep the design on hand with DeMolin Brothers and Company out in Illinois and just have them just keep recycling them.
Now, for those who just moved to the area and tuning into this show, they're saying the Lynch era. What was the Lynch era?
So back when John Paul Lynch Sr. had the band, that's when the band was, you know, 150, 200 plus, and that was the pride of Martinsburg, literally. And people, all kinds of people were in the band. If you reach out to anybody in the community and they were part of that band, they knew what the Lynch era meant to them. You know, he was strict. He knew what he wanted, had great ensembles.
See, like the Whiplash guy?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, so that was for me. And he used to come help me, and his son JP, who's the band director at Jefferson, which they're bringing their band on Friday for the game.
Cool.
I'm super excited about that, to see them. But you know, the whole Lynch family has been my mentors in years past. My mom was in color guard, where she had Mrs. Lynch as her color guard instructor. So really, you know, the era and the era that they kind of set for the whole community was something special.
What years were those?
He retired in, was it 2005, I think it was. I think he was at Martinsburg for 20 some years.
Yeah, because
Wow.
that was the era where I emceed some of the shows, the tournament bands, and the Martinsburg band just popped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my goal. I want to,
I'm sure
I
they're
want to
doing
get
that
there in size, and I want to get there in sound, and you know, the way we look and present ourselves, you know, at games and different events throughout the area.
Got a minute left. Go ahead and plug the tournament of bands this Saturday one more time.
Yeah, so the 46th Annual Martinsburg High School Band Spectacular is this Saturday, September 27th at Coburn Field. We will start at 4. The gates open at 2. 18 bands in attendance with Shepherd University at 9:30, I believe. Martinsburg High School will perform at 9:15. We'll do awards at 9:50. And tickets are $10 for adults, 65 and older is $5, and then free for 5 and younger.
And get those just at the door?
Yes, you can get those at the tunnel.
Well done.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and
always fun.
keep up your amazing schedule that you do.
Thank you.
She does all this without notes. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Just sharp. Good stuff.
Thanks.
Casie Rogers Adams, as we head into the break.